All right, you guys, today we're going to talk about a life path number that may be hard to hear, but it's true and it's important to understand. We're going to talk about life path number 5 today. And if you're familiar with my content, I talk about this number and the concept of karma all of the time. It is one of the most important factors of this reality because of the fact that we as humans live a karmic existence. So even if your life path is not 5, you are impacted by karma, okay? You are walking a karmic path, okay? The only difference here is that if your life path is actually 5, there is a heavier degree of struggle. There is a heavier degree of difficulty, okay? There can be a heavier degree of stagnancy, restriction, limitation, whether it's of the mindset or the circumstances. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, when we're talking about karma, there's 2 prominent numbers. We have 23, the number of positive karma, karmic shifts, and we have 32, the number of negative karma, stagnancy. Okay, now, when we're talking about 23, we're not talking about the exemption of difficulty. We're talking about difficulty that leads to a new trajectory, or almost like an opportunity that presents itself as an opportunity or a catalyst for growth if you navigate it properly. Now, this is an example. 15 energy or life path 5 is typically going to be an example of someone that is not yet ready for stable 6 energy. Okay, we're going to get into 6 later, right? That's going to be my next video in this series. But 6 essentially is consistent domestic matters, consistent work matters. It's the number of man, the number of woman, the number of human. Okay, so there's a misinterpretation a lot of times biblically or religiously about demonizing the number 6, especially as it relates to the angel number 666, which is not fair. Okay, we're simply talking about the experience of humanity, okay, and everything that pertains to, okay, the temptation that pertains to, right? You have a choice as to what you want to focus on in this lifetime. So when we speak of this, right? So if someone in 15 energy or life path 5, they're either not ready for the full experience of 6, right? And I'll get into some examples of that, right? Or the 6 experience will have a plethora of issues granted towards it, okay? Now, when we're talking about life path 5, we're talking about restriction. But with this can also come a lifestyle that is more nomadic or free, right? That's the opposite aspect of it. We're talking about struggle. Or we're talking about freedom from burden because you're not fully committed, right, to that stable 6 experience. Because some people in this energy will see the restriction as freedom from burden, okay? Because you're not fully wanting to elevate to that level of responsibility, that level of commitment that a true 6 foundation requires, okay? So with that comes things like them seeing it as the easy life, as the simple life, okay? Now, this is important because I am a substance use disorder counselor. I work at a rehab that serves mostly the homeless population. I work in the trenches of this energy. I experience this energy day in and day out. So when I sit here and I explain these patterns to you and explain this energy to you, it is with deep understanding and deep observation. Now, life path 5 can come with mental illness, okay? And it can come with homelessness, okay? It can come with the repeating of cycles, karmic cycles. And you can have any life path number and endure 50 cycles or karmic cycles, right? And you can be any life path number and have to endure certain karmic lessons, have to endure certain karmic obstacles, but it's different. It's different than actually being on a life path 5, okay? Okay, because when we're talking about life path 5, we're talking about the people who tend to stay in this experience for their entire life. Let's be real about it, okay? These are the people that are constantly repeating the same mistakes, constantly reverting to the same life, okay? Because that is their comfort zone. 5 is their comfort zone. Whereas a lot of people may experience this kind of experience more temporarily, this is where they're comfortable. Okay, so if you want to get into concepts like the caste system, the untouchables as they name them, this is the same idea. Okay, we're talking about people who need structure, need help to stay on the right path because it's not intrinsic. Now, some additional examples, right? In addition to houselessness, mental illness, right? Unlimited responsibility, limited resources, right? We're talking about people that may be in the welfare system for their entire life. So they may have some foundation to a certain extent, right? Some stability to a certain extent. They may live in low-income housing. They may receive EBT. They may have a vehicle, right? But it's with limitation. It's with scarcity. It's with the scarcity mindset that is imbued within someone who receives these kinds of benefits. Because of the nature of it, it is a box, right? You cannot make more than this. You cannot do more than this. That keeps you limited. That keeps you restricted, believe it or not, from leveling up. Now, like I said, limiting mindset is a big component of this, right? Fear is a big component of this. Oftentimes it is simply a fear of leveling up. Like I said, it's a fear of more responsibility. It's a fear of the work that it requires to be a productive member of society. It's not an easy thing to do, you guys. Okay, that's why I've actually had people refer to the street life, the homeless life, the drug addicted life, the alcohol addicted life as the easy life. When right on the other side was true sick stability, was permanent housing, was sobriety, was sober support. And I've had people in a moment of fear, in a moment of anxiety, revert over and over and over and over and over and over again. This is an example of Life Path 5. It's not going to make sense to most people. But the restriction is energetic. The restriction is internal. The restriction is generational, right? And it's not always something that's been taught. This is why it's important to understand this, right? As a very personal experience and a God-ordained experience, right? I would argue that these restrictive cycles, right, and life path numbers in general are always God-ordained. Suffering, restriction is God-ordained. Another example of 15 energy are animals, right, that we consume for food and the life that has to come with that. And I would also argue that beings come down here with an agreement in place for energy about what they're going to have to endure, but also the benefits of that. Okay? You think animals don't benefit energetically, spiritually, by enduring this level of karma? Of course they do. And do you not recognize that we were all them at one point? Of course we were. This is reincarnation. This is karmic. Okay? This is the experience, the spiritual experience, the evolutionary experience of the soul. Okay? There's levels to this. Okay? We all have to endure suffering. And the more suffering you endure in a lifetime, the more karma that's burned away. Okay? Now, so when we're talking about this all being God ordained, it is. But you know what else is God ordained? Awakening. Freeing from those bonds. And that all starts with a shift in perspective, a shift in mindset, a new way of relating to the world. Okay? That's 29 energy. Okay? So this is why Realm of 5 work is so important. Inner work is so important. Okay? Inner child wounding, ego work, shadow work. Okay? All of these things are directly correlated with karmic energies. And the things that explicitly hold you back are different than what holds me back. Okay? My lessons are different than your lessons, which means the opposite actions I need to start implementing, the discomfort I need to start leaning into is going to vary from person to person. It's very personal, right? This is why it's important to understand your karmic path, your spirit's myth, okay? And pay attention to how you move in this world going forward. I did a video on this. The karma of 5 versus the karma of 8, very different, okay? So what we're talking about here is not directly related to something you've done per se. 5, is the energies, is representative of the energies that are meant to mold us, strengthen us, help us grow, soften us, okay? Different things, different obstacles we need to learn to overcome, right? Different patterns we need to break, different ways of being that are holding us back, okay? This is what we're talking about with 5, Life Path 5, 15 frequency, okay? Do inner work, learn your hindrances so that you can break free. All right? Have a good day.